Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news, update, and information with a video on the 2023 Ford Bronco. So Ford came out and let dealers know some information about those those people that still have an unscheduled 2023 Ford Bronco, as well as information on those that want to, when they're going to open up the order banks, I should say, for new orders for 2023, because it's been closed off so far. So we're going to go ahead and break down and talk about this. I want to make sure I get information out to people out there in the community and people that are wanting to, they have a current order or they're waiting to get an order. So all the good details on that, and hopefully this some tips and everything and some ideas. I am going to throw in some theories and some things that I have at the end that I think will maybe help people understand what's going on with these scheduling of these Ford Broncos. So if you like videos like this, want to stay updated on Ford news and information, click the subscribe button down below so you can subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that way you'll be notified next time we have another video uploaded to YouTube channel. So let's jump in. First, talk about some of the details about the information that Ford gave to us. First, let's talk about the current order holders. We have several people that have a 2023 Ford Bronco that has gone unscheduled so far for different various reasons, mainly at this point because there are some constraint items. And when we say constraint item, it means that we have more orders than what their capacity is for that particular option or even trim, or when it has to do with the wild track, like we're going to talk about in a little bit. So there are orders out there for people that are over on those different things. So some of the things, the options, I should say the optional equipment on some of those other trims that are over capacity is your molded in hardtop for your 4-doors. Well, for the 2-doors as well, but they are asking for people to make some changes to those 4-doors. So the molded in hardtop. So if you have that hardtop on your order, that is constrained. We'll talk about numbers in just a little bit and how much they are constrained. Also, the Sasquatch package. So a lot of the orders, I know in our order bank, the unscheduled orders, almost all of them have the Sasquatch package on their orders. Also, the Lux package. That Lux package has some great features. A lot of people want that Lux package. And so because of the Lux package and the popularity of that package, it is also constrained as well. There's more orders than what they have capacity to build because of the amount of supplies they're getting from their suppliers. Also, the Wild Track trim, that is constrained. There's a lot of people that order the Wild Track. It's a great trim. It's standard Sasquatch, so a lot of people like that one. A little bit wider wheelbase as well, or track, I should say. So it's a true, made to go off-road. You want to go high speed off-road. That vehicle is what a lot of people are wanting to go with. So that's why it is so constrained as well. And so Ford's wanting the people that have an unscheduled order to be thinking about, hey, we want to get yours scheduled as quick as possible. We want to get all the 23 orders scheduled out. Those people have been waiting, some of them since 2021 Bronco order banks opened up, and 22 and now into 23, and they want to get those people scheduled out and get their vehicle to them. And so they want to help those people out by giving them an extra private offer incentive if they maybe take some things off of their order or switch the trim from the Wild Track to a different trim without those items on there. So we're going to go through and talk about that. So let's talk about the capacity numbers first. So those that have a Wild Track, Ford is producing the Wild Track trim at 15%. So that means 50% of the Broncos that are coming off of out of the factory, about 15% of them are Wild Track. But about 27% of orders happen to be Wild Track right now. So that's more than double of what their capacity is on a monthly basis. The other one is the hardtop. So all hardtops, whether it be 2-door or 4-door, there's about their production and their capacity, I should say, is about 60%. So that means 2 out of every 3 Bronco that roll off the assembly line will have a hardtop on it, and that's what they can handle. That is way up. That's almost double what it was a couple years ago when it first came out. So they're really ramping up production of that from their supplier and able to assemble those on the vehicles. But 85% of the current orders happen to have the hardtop on their orders. So that's why we're constrained there. So if some people would take off the hardtop, we could probably get most of these built out. The other one is a Sasquatch package. A very popular package that comes with the front and rear locker. It comes with your Sasquatch wheels, the mud train tires, and I think what's the issue on these are the wheel and tire. Those are having some supplier issues getting those and then be able to do that. So their capacity right now is 40% of the Broncos that are go off the production line can have the Sasquatch package on there, but about 50% of the orders happen to have that package on there. So that is something to look at. I looked at our orders. Almost all of our leftover orders have the Sasquatch package on there, whether it be a wild track or a Badlands or an Outer Banks with the Sasquatch package. So that is also something as well. You also get some other things with the Sasquatch package too, but those are the primary things that to cover. I won't cover everything in those packages. Just like with the Lux package. Lux package is also constrained. Their capacity is about 40% of the orders can be built with the Lux package. Same number as the Sasquatch, by the way, and about 46% of the orders have the Lux package on them. So again, they're over capacity with those as well. So that's kind of the production number. So it gives you a good idea too. If you have something with one of those, you kind of know what are your chances, right? Because you know about what their production is. So keep that in mind. So let's talk about the options that Ford has laid out for those people that have current unscheduled orders. And this doesn't apply to people that already have, a scheduled order that has a VIN number. It just hasn't been produced yet. This doesn't apply to you. You've already been scheduled, and Ford is going to build yours the way you have it spec'd out. This is for those that have an unscheduled order. Now, option one is for those customers to amend their order. So if you're somebody out there that has a wild track, what Ford is saying is they will give you a $2,500 to convert that wild track to either a Badlands, Big Bend, or Outer Banks. Now they don't mention the base or the Black Diamond, but I assume those would work as well as long as they don't have the Sasquatch package on them, right? So you'll need to convert over to that, and you'll need to make sure the order does not have the Sasquatch package or the hardtop or the Lux package. So you'll need to make sure not only you switch from the wild track to one of those, but also make sure you don't have any of those three constrained items. Now, 2 doors, you don't have to take off the hardtop. Ford does saying that in here. It does note in here, it says to exclude those with the 2-door. You do not, because that is already standard content on the 2-door, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, for those that don't have a wild track, but maybe you have the hardtop, or for the 4 doors, or you have the Lux package on that Badlands or Outer Banks, or you have a Sasquatch package, they're telling you to remove all of them to get the $2,500. So some people ask, well, what if I just take one thing off? Nope. To get the $2,500, you have to take all 3 of those. Now, if you have a Badlands that maybe it's not Sasquatch, but you have Lux package, you just have to remove the Lux package, right? So you just have to remove the things that your vehicle has. And again, 2 doors would only have to remove the Lux package and the Sasquatch to get the $2,500 extra private offer you're going to receive for that. So keep that in mind. Another option for you, if you so choose, is to buy another Ford vehicle. So Ford wants you to, they're hoping you stay in the Ford family. So if you're like, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, if I don't get that, I don't want to get it. You can purchase or order another Ford vehicle. So if you decide to do a non-Bronco retail order, there are some exclusions there. Then we'll give you $2,500 to order that. I noticed it on a Maverick when I pulled Smart Vincent on one of the Mavericks. I noticed it in there for a Maverick. So you can't order a Maverick right now, so keep that in mind. But you could order some other vehicles. So you want to order a Bronco Sport, or you wanted to order an Edge, Explorer, F-150 even, as long as it's not a Raptor. Those are some of the exclusions. Some of those specialty vehicles will not apply to that. But you can go ahead and order a non-Bronco retail order and get the $2,500 on that ordered vehicle. The other thing you can do is take delivery of another Ford vehicle out of a dealer's stock. And it does say including a Bronco. So if you found a Bronco at a dealer, even if it's not the dealer you ordered from, you can get the $2,500 on the vehicle that you find. So keep that in mind as well. Look at your dealer. Maybe they have a Bronco that somebody hasn't taken. We just had one become available recently, a wild track, in fact, that became available, and we were actually, having our talking to our current order holders on the wild track order holders to see if they would like it first before putting it out on our website. But that is an option as well. So be looking at some of the inventory out there, and maybe you can find one pretty close to what you have that has a hardtop and such that somebody did not take, and then you could take delivery of an in-stock vehicle. Option 3 is to take no action. Just, you can say, well, let me see how things go. I don't want to make a change. I want that wild track with the hardtop, with the Lux package. I don't want to make any changes. And that is your prerogative. You can make that. You can decide to do that. Keep in mind that at the end of 23 model year production, they are not like they have so far for the last 2 years. They've rollover price protected you by giving you a private offer. They are not going to do that after 2023 model year. So if your vehicle does not get scheduled and produced into 23 model year, and it has to be pushed over to 24 model year, they are not going to give you any kind of private offer to make up for that price when you go over to 24 model year. They are starting fresh in 24. In fact, I believe you're going to have to put new orders in 24 as well. So that is something to keep in mind if you decide to gamble and say, I want to see how things play out. Surely they'll get mine built. Just keep that in mind, that that's a possibility that it could get pushed to 24, and then you would lose any current private offers you've earned so far, especially those that had a 21 or even a 22 that got rolled over to get that private offer. You're not going to have that private offer available if yours rolls over to 24. So that is a gamble you have to decide on. And of course, option number 4 is that you can just cancel your order and walk away. Now, also, you need to make a decision on one of these. If you're going to amend your order, you have until March 7th to make that change to that order. So keep that in mind as well. For us, I know I've said keep that in mind so many times. Sorry about that, folks. You need to kind of look at the different scenario and see what works best for you. What we're doing with our current customers is we're kind of saying, well, you know what, we don't have a lot of orders left, and we have plenty of allocations the next 2 months. We can see how things go this month and maybe even next month, because scheduling usually for February, it would probably be done by the 3rd week. You'd have a good week to 10 days to make that decision. There's a reason why it's March 7th, and it's a week into March, is that it gives an opportunity for people to see how things go in the next 2 months, and then say, mine's not scheduled yet. Okay, I'll go ahead and make that change to get the $2,500 private offer. So that's something to think about, is to maybe you want to wait and see what thing happens and then make that change. So think about that. So I want to give you my take before we get into new orders. Let me give you my take on the situation with these 23s and why they're offering the private offers and such. At this point, I looked at our orders. About all of our orders are either a Wild Track or they're one of the other trims that have a Sasquatch package or a Lux package on there. About everything has a constraint on them at this point. Now, if you think about it, let's say I know last year they built 138,000, I believe, somewhere around there, Broncos for the full production year. For last year, at that rate, they're producing about 10 to 11,000 Broncos a month out of the Michigan assembly plant. At that rate, think about that. Let's look at the 10,000, right? 40% of them can be Sasquatch, 40% Lux package, right? And if you look at those numbers and think about that, that means that 60% of them have to not have those if they want to fulfill their capacity for the plant. So right now, if all the orders that are left are people that have Sasquatch or the Lux package, that means that they're down to 40% production for the month. So a lot of people say, well, why don't they just build it? Well, it's not the issue that they can't assemble that many. It's the fact they don't have the supplies, or they don't have the parts from their suppliers to be able to keep that production at full capacity, unless people don't have some of those things that they are short on when it comes to those different packages. So, so I looked at it that way and said that does make a lot more sense on why they're wanting to do that. So they're wanting some people to switch from the Lux and such, so that they can have orders that they can schedule along with those other vehicles, so they can keep production at 10,000 units and get all these produced in the next couple months before they open up the order banks. Speaking of that, let's talk about when the new order banks will open up. So if you're out there waiting to put that new order in, the order banks are supposed to open up approximately March 27th. So that could change, depends on what happens. If they get a lot of people that switch things over and they can produce and schedule a lot of these 23s that are left over, they may move that date up. Also, they could push it back if they have just the opposite happen. So, you want to look at that. So also, and again, the order deadline is March 7th for those that want to make that amendment to their order to get that extra $2,500 private offer for you. So also, right after that, or right after March 7th, I believe, when that deadline is, Ford is going to be giving dealers information on the commodities, and the capacities won't change, but the constraints and how many orders will change. So as a schedule for the next couple months, we'll see that change. And so when people are putting in new orders, it'll give them a good idea of what the capacity is and what the orders look like when they put their order in. So that's something, if you're going to put in a new 23 order, that's something you want to think about. Do I want to order a Wild Track knowing that they're already over capacity right now? because I may not get to see it in 23. It'll probably be 24. And again, there won't be any private offer or price protection if it rolls over to 24. So that's something else as you're putting in new orders, you'll want to think about as well. You know, do I want to take the chances and do I want to gamble? Another thing is you want to get that order in quickly, and maybe even give your dealer a pre-order saying, here's, because we know what are possible on the 23 model year for configurations. And if you haven't had a chance to watch my video, I do have a whole series of the complete guide videos is what we call them, where I go through all the standard equipment and different options for every trim on the Bronco. So you can check that out, exception of the Raptor. I did not do that, or the Heritage Limited Edition, because those pretty much are pretty rare to get. But all the other trims that will be available for 2023, I have videos on those. So check out the playlist that I have in those videos if you want to get that information on how to order your vehicle. And think about that. Get that information to your dealer ahead of time so they can submit that order for you the first day and get that order in quickly, because that'll make a difference too on how you know, getting yourself in a sense in line for getting that. If you want that Badlands with the Sasquatch and the Lux package, you know that the first 40% will get that. So you want to make sure that you have that order in as quick as possible. So be thinking about that, getting with your local dealers, and don't forget, when you are getting with your dealers, find out what they're going to be pricing those vehicles at. Are they going to be at MSRP pricing? Are they going to mark it up over MSRP? Are they going to add anything to your vehicle when it comes in, make it mandatory? I've seen some of that happen with some dealers. And hopefully you have a good dealer that is able to do that for you and will not do that. But you might want to ask that to them and get to know them a little bit on what they're going to do pricing wise for that pre-order before giving that to them and going ahead and submitting your order on the 27th or whenever it opens up for you. So hopefully this video is good information for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Also, don't forget, if you're not new to the channel, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified next with another video uploaded to the channel. And don't forget to check out our live streams every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. We do a live stream right here on this YouTube channel where we go over production information. What's scheduling this week? Are there any things that aren't scheduling? Like this week for the Bronco, they were scheduling base model trim. They're scheduling base and specialty vehicles, and are scheduled this week. They were all base. So giving you that information of what's looking at to be scheduled this week, and if there are some constraints that come about, then I let you know that as well on those live streams, as well as we have a topic of the week and even have a fun little is it true things that I find on social media that are just not right, not true, that's kind of gotten some some legs on it, and we like to just tell the truth here, give you all the straight information, the accurate information and such. And so we'd like to have an is it true as well. So if you like to check those out, again, make sure you subscribe so you can get that notification when we go live on Tuesday nights for that too. So again, thanks for watching this video. Hope you like it. Hopefully it was information that that was informative and helped you out a little bit. If you have that current order or you're waiting to put that order in, either way, hopefully you get the Bronco that you're wanting, the way you want it ordered, way you want it built, and you enjoy it. Trust me, say it's worth the wait. I have a Bronco myself, love it, great drive, and you're going to love it as well. So hopefully you get your Bronco real soon. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So keep that in mind as well. Keep in mind, so that isn't something to keep in mind. Just keep that in mind. So keep that in mind. I know I've said keep that in mind so many times. Sorry about that, folks. But keep that. Edit that out.